You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy vault your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Better than you. Better than you. I saw the Facebook photos.
So I have decided, like, the four elements, well, actually two of the four: fire, air, earth, wind, right? Water.
What is it?
Water.
Okay.
So fire and water, like, legit, you don't have a lot of control over those two things, and they can really take you out.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
I've had water problems. You know me, my basement is, I have nothing in my basement right now, I swear, because I'm having an earth element problem, let's say, with our septic.
Right?
I just have nothing but water problems. I swear it's a living in New England thing too. Like, you hear people about like water in their basements. I'm like, you have never lived in New England if you're not used to water in your basement.
Yeah.
Water.
So yesterday morning, the lake was normal, right?
Yeah.
Because all of the water that had to come, because we have one lake that feeds into another lake. So it's a process. So yesterday we got 5 inches of rain in 24 hours, which is like 2.5 months of friggin' rain. Let's just go there. So last night I went on vacation, 2 weeks ago, a week ago? I can't remember at this point. It was a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
And I literally cleaned the lakefront, moved all of my kayaks and stuff, only left one because I like to go kayak at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning before the day starts.
Psycho, yeah.
It was literally floating away yesterday afternoon. So you don't have control over that.
No, and you're a control person.
You think?
I mean, we all are. If you think about it, in our own way, we are all control freaks, every human on this planet. But how some deal with change when it comes to control is very different. You're a completely different person than you were a year ago with certain things.
Oh yeah. Well, what am I going to do about it?
Right? You stop the water. Like, you can't do anything about it.
Like, you just have to adapt, change, redirect. Like, what are all those words? What are all those adjectives of what you got to do? Or verbs, not adjectives.
You know, and it's, I've had to live in a world my whole life where change happened rapidly. And oftentimes everything in my life for a long time was out of my control. When you're a kid, every decision is made for you. When you're a teenager, they tell you what to do, where to go. I was not in a great marriage where I was told what to do. So for a long time, I've always been just like, go with it, right? And I've always worked in technology where there are days like yesterday where it's not as impactful, but I couldn't stay on the internet where I was to do my job. And I left there and I'm like, okay, get over it, go home, right? Like, there's only so much if it's out of our control, we've got to take a deep breath and move on or learn from it. Like, maybe it's time for sump pumps, Tiffany.
Yeah, it is. I know, as I was sitting here angrily typing as my kid is downstairs, because on top of it, no water in the basement yesterday morning. I wake up this morning, 3 inches of water in the basement, and they're delivering a washer and dryer, because I haven't had a washer and dryer in like a year.
My God.
Right? Because, we lead with revenue, and all my job changes, I wanted to pay cash. I didn't want to put it in credit because, like, legit. So I could whine, which I'm doing a little bit now, or I could take action. And the action was, my kid is going to school late today because he's downstairs emptying the basement while I get work done. So when they come at 10 o'clock, the basement's empty.
Ish.
Yeah. It'll be
And
a
then
little damp. It'll be a little
and then
damp.
we're going to put sump pumps in. We're going to look into a sump pump.
I know. Say, like, if I wasn't going to move, I would care, right? But this is like, I'm going to do one of two things in life. I'm going to go get a condo somewhere on the water, or I'm going to get a camper van and I'm going to go travel the country and coach. So I don't want to invest.
Right. But would it help with the value of your home when you go to sell it?
Yeah, but I'll let that be somebody else's problem.
You are the worst. The plumber's pipes leak. The realtor doesn't care about the resale value of their house. The roofer's roof is freaking leaking. It's
so funny story. You know, like we all have weird things. So I went through a divorce and I was born Catholic, and there was this mindset around you don't give up on, you know, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
We're not even going to go there.
Yeah.
So I would give him second chance after second chance after second chance. However, the way my brain works is if he touched any of my stuff, when he left, I would have to get rid of it because it was a trigger.
It was a trigger. You just had to cleanse.
I went through over a 5-year period.
I can't even imagine the funds you wasted on letting him control that part of you.
Yeah, we're all weird.
We're all so weird. And to circle back to the beginning of the discussion is fighting change or being angry. Now, this is a past event for you. So here's my big thing. And my mom was so good about these things when I was growing up. She helped me learn how to really ingest something and then move on quick. Not bury it by any means. We talked about things a lot, but she really helped me see big picture on, is this a bad moment or a bad life? Because it's so quickly, you know, and she's one of those, don't let the small things, right? There's more important things in life than getting the dishes done or making sure something is perfect, because while you're too busy worrying about change is happening around you and you're missing out on some of the greatest parts of your life. Yeah. You know, last night I had a ton to do when I got home. And as soon as I walked through that door, Hope looked at me and she's like, it's gorgeous out. And I was like, do you want to go for a walk? I was like, let's eat dinner early. Adam wasn't home yet. I'm like, let's go for a walk. And we just walked around the neighborhood and chatted. Did I have things to put away? Mm-hmm. Did I have things I could have been working on? Mm-hmm. But she's changing every moment. Oh my God. And she doesn't shut up. I am so sorry if this is what life with me is like. I got home and I was exhausted.
She likes to talk. She's her mother's kid.
She is. But one of the things was my mom said, well, you're so busy fighting change. Everyone else is changing around you and you're going to be left behind.
Yeah.
And you can't control it. All you can do is learn and get on, not move on, get on. And when she ever said stuff like that to me, it was like, yeah, it's not, when people say move on, to me, that's dismissive. Like, you need to just get over it. And it's not about getting over it. Sometimes some of us take a little more time to ingest, internalize, and understand, but we've got to stop fighting change. Because also a lot of our friends in this world have a very specific personality type. And if they're not the ones that were the visionary or the driver of change, then they fight it even more. Be happy somebody else thought about it and now you get to integrate it and benefit from it. Every piece of change is a benefit, but we just have to get on, not move on. And we've got to flow with it, just like the water flowed into your basement and back out today.
Yeah, it'll be gone. And it'll, to your point, I don't sweat the big stuff. Like the fact that my lake
under pressure.
Yeah, but the little stuff, it took me a long time because, and my kids used to laugh at me because they would bring these big catastrophic things that happened that I needed to deal with. I was cool, collective. but if they didn't pick up their dirty laundry off the floor, I lost my crap. And they're like, I don't understand you. And I was like, I don't understand me either. It's okay.
You know, it's funny. There are things that set me off. There are things like I'm a cook, right? So please do not abuse my cookware. So when I hear one of my kids slamming a wooden spoon against a $400 pot, I lose my shit. It's just a pot. But it's disrespectful of the stuff we have. And I think that's why I'm mad, but I can't always articulate it because you're abusing my cookware. Yeah. Right. So there are things. And it's funny when you figure out, you sit back at the end of the day, you know, there's been weekends where it's tough with Hope. She's actually, she's wild, but at the end of the day, she's such a good little kid. There's not tantrums. There's not, I need this. She does not scream. Very rarely does she act out. We're cool and chill at home. She's cool and chill at home. But there's been a few times I've lost my mind. And at the end of the day, I've said to her, listen, here's why I was so aggravated with you early in the day. And she's like, I was like, how would you feel if I did X, Y, Z to you? And she's like, well, I would be just as angry. And I'm like, girl, you get it now? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, I love you. I'm so glad we talked this out. But in her little 7-year-old brain, I know she's like, Mom is a psycho some days. But it's we are all little psychopaths running around, fighting change, not dealing with things, and just trying to figure out who the hell we are after. I swear too, a lot of this, I saw a neighbor who I adore. We haven't seen each other. We figured out in 9 months because of our schedule. She's like, I feel like since the pandemic, work has absorbed all of us. Like none of us can get away from it now. She's like, I miss you. Come over for some wine this weekend. And I was like, I'm leaving for Texas.
I know. We're leaving for Texas. Well, and and it could always be worse.
It could always be worse. I don't live in a pessimist. It could always be worse. But at the end of the day, life is pretty good for all of us right now. We got to take care of the good moments and take care of the people in our life, take care of ourselves, and just roll with the punches.
Yeah, it was like last night after I fished out the stuff that I could fish out of the lake. I went and took Riley to softball practice.
I saw it.
And then we spent we spent an hour in the car. We talked to Jess. We joked. And out of everything that happened over the last 48 hours, what will she remember? What will I remember?
Right.
That's all that matters.
And how great is it that you have a living Sasquatch to help you pump out your basement this morning?
I was a little mad because I asked him last night, can you go to the basement, make sure there's no water in the basement? And he said, there's no water in I know that there was water in the basement last night. I'm like, you little, but that's okay.
He's not little. Listen, Sasquatch is going to do what a Sasquatch is going to do.
Well, and I will say, like you said, we've all been through a journey, and the people, all of us, the people that we have turned into because the journey and the relationships, it's all in how you react. Are you as the victim or right?
Right.
And it's not even survivor, because I feel like I used to say I'm never a victim, I'm a survivor, but being a survivor is just as negative as being a victim.
You're a thriver. There's a difference. You're either the victim or the thriver. There's only two ways: you win or you learn. And that's it.
So I think the whole point of this whole conversation is life happens.
We gotta move on.
When you're going to react to the people on your team or to a client, what's the best impact for you personally?
Exactly.
Because I could be losing my mind right now, throwing a temper tantrum, or I could be moving on because it's a moment in time. We have a lot.
It's already in the past.
Yeah.
Lots of
moments in time. Yeah. All right, my friend.
All right, well, I hope you have a drier day, and we will talk to our friends tomorrow.
I just want my washer and dryer installed. That's all I care.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you on that one.
I have like 6 loads of laundry that's been patiently waiting for this.
My God. Well, you enjoy the day catching up.
Bye.
Bye.